How's it going, guys? It's Eclipse here, and today we're looking at the news for the week following the January 12th until January 18th. So the stuff we've found today is there's not too much to go over, but we have got some on-track events and a couple different things to look at. So first things first, we got 2 weeks left of the Action Heroes season. If you want to get those final tanks within the next 2 weeks, then you should be pushing extra hard if you haven't already got them. I finished them within probably the first 2 weeks of it being released, to be honest. It was really easy, as long as you're putting in a couple hours a day for a solid, 7 or 8 days, you'll probably get it done. It doesn't take too long. The key cards, they're in the game until the same date, the 26th of January. They're fairly decent. I've got a few things out of them, but I don't ever buy them. I just don't see the point unless I'm going to definitely get something. I don't ever buy key cards or anything like that, war chests as they used to be, just because it's just, in my opinion, not worth getting. The T22 medium, the one that came in last week, is in the game until the 26th as well. You can buy it for both gold and XP, as I mentioned last week, but I wouldn't recommend buying for gold because it's just that much gold. I think it's like 23,000 gold, which is like a ridiculous amount of money, probably like £70 or something like that, just to get the tank. I never recommend doing that. And then this week's specific thing is that we've got the on-track to the Panzer 7. This is the King Lerva, as it's nicknamed, and you'll basically be able to get a 25% bonus XP on the tanks leading up to this, so that'll be able to get there quicker. I mean, it's a solid tank, but you're not going to be able to have massively impactful games just because as a heavy tank, it's meant to be a side scraper, but this massive cupola right here you can see on screen, or not cupola, but like weak spot, just renders it pretty much useless at side scraping because anyone can pretty much go through there, especially if you've got premium ammo. It just makes it pointless for side scraping because it's just that weak. Other than that, you'll be getting discounts on the tanks previous, so if you want to pick up any of them in specific, if you've already played past them and you want to pick them up again, then now's a good time. I think it's 50% discount on tanks up to tier 7, I believe, so tier 1 to 6, and then it's 30% off tier 7 to 10, if I'm right in thinking. We'll just go over that right now to just clarify. So up to tier 6 is a 50% silver discount and 30% off tier 7 to 10. Next is the +1 -1 matchmaking, which will be making a return for just 1 week. This is something I actually really quite like in game, just because when I've been playing tier 10 recently, which means I don't have to be playing against tier 8, which is really good because I can get more damage basically. It's just something I actually would like to see in the game full time. I know that some people probably might not, but I just think for game balancing, being able to just meet one tier below you is definitely better for everyone, especially new players, since they don't want to be in the bottom tier getting absolutely destroyed by something that they're pretty much never going to be able to win against anyway, whether you're the best player in the game or not. The next thing is mid-January bundles. So in this one, it's just following another set of bundles that Wargaming releases with premium tanks in them. I'll just evaluate a couple of them. So the first one is the Flanker Stars. You got the Atomic Centurion, the Progetto, and the Mutz. This is probably one of the better ones I've seen in a while, just because they're tanks that are kind of cool to play. The Atomic Centurion, I mean, it's a medium tank, it's not a brilliant one. I wouldn't recommend ever really buying it, but as a bundle where you're saving 60%, I'd definitely give it a shout. The Progetto, that's a really nice tank to play, and it will be good for training up your crews if you haven't already got a Italian 9 skill crew. The Panzer 58 Mut's not an amazing tank, been left kind of behind with all of the recent additions, but they're all decent ones that you could use. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily recommend spending 12,000 gold on it though. Next one is the Journey Star. These are low tier premiums, and I'd just, to be honest with you, I'd never really recommend buying low tier premiums just because they don't make that much money, and often you have to buy a premium to make them good. So like the Bogatia, broken tank really, and the Panzer 5-4, absolutely broken. Don't know why that's in at tier 5. That should definitely be a tier 6. Same with the Bogatia, they're just ridiculous tanks at the tier. And the T78, I think that's similar to the Hellcat. I mean, for 3,900 gold, you're not going to go particularly wrong. It's not that expensive, but yeah, I would rather save up your gold and buy a tier 8 and, you know, actually make some silver with them instead. Next one is Continental Foes. This one gives you the Cromwell B, which is a really nice tank. I've got that. I think I got that when it was 50% off a long time ago when it was just on its own. That's a really nice tank to play. It's kind of fun. Yeah, definitely one to look out for. It comes with the Sturm VK3601H, which is also a nice one. But yeah, and the Britannia Panther. Both of them, the other ones are pretty much, I wouldn't bother with. That's what I find with a lot of these packages, that you get a couple, but then when you think about it, you'll get another one that you just will never play, so it doesn't actually equal a good amount of savings, because you know you would have only actually played 2 of the 3 or whatever. So yeah, it's just something to keep an eye out with when you actually buy these. Another thing is if you already own part of the package, you'll actually get refunded gold. So but you have to have the actual amount of gold to buy it in the first place. So even if I had the Rheinmetall Scorpion, which is a absolutely broken tier 8 TD, really powerful in game, I'd still have to have 8,800 gold, but then I'd get refunded after I purchased. It's basically a way for wargaming to get you to get enough gold to purchase the package to then get gold back, if that makes sense. So instead of just letting you buy it for half the price, they're basically just forcing you to, say if you had 8,600 gold on your account, you'd have to buy an extra 200, which wouldn't be used, but you'd need it to get the package. So if you get what I mean, like they're forcing you to buy more gold even though you don't need the gold, so you're still effectively paying more money to them. So that's what I'm not a fan of with some of these things. But definitely the one I'd keep my eyes out of for kind of a nice one is definitely the Rheinmetall Scorpion and the Kruppstaer Waffenträger designated marksman kind of bundle there. That's probably the one I'd like the most out of them all, but there's nothing that's particularly special about any of them in my eyes. I prefer to buy the premium tanks when they're on sale, so we'll have a look at those. We've got the Atomic Centurion. They're basically all of the ones that I've just listed as part of the bundle, but they're on sale for 30% off. So instead of getting a better saving, you'll get a 20% to 30% less saving on each tank, but you'll be able to get them individually, which I'd rather do myself, just because half the time you don't want the extra tanks anyway. So yeah, ones I'd keep an eye out for, if you want a SEAL club basically, is the Panzer 5-4 and the Bogatia. They're both broken tier 5s. The Progetto at tier 8, the Italian one, that's really good. The Rheinmetall Scorpion, that's really good. And then the Cromwell B, that's a really nice balanced kind of medium tank at that tier. Really nice if you like the British medium line. And if you want something just a bit novel, is basically the Javelin Kruppstaer Waffenträger. That's kind of a nice little tier 7 there to pick up if you like that kind of playstyle, like the Borsig, etc. Just being stealthy and having no armour, then yeah. Now the weekly deals, these are quite good. They're in for the following week until the 19th of January 2021. We've got T92. This is the tier 8 light tank, the American one. So this is quite a nice one. I believe if we have a look at it, it is an auto loader. Not entirely sure about that, but I'm pretty sure it was. Although I think I'm being proved wrong here that it's not. But either way, it's when I've come up against it, it's actually quite a good one. It does only do 150 damage per shot though, which is a bit depressing, but it's a light tank with 4-second reload, and especially when you boost that up with some of your extra stuff, it's going to be quite nice, especially with that aiming time as well, when it gets boosted with your crew and equipment and all of the other consumables that you have. You'll get 150% extra silver, so this is definitely a light tank that you can make work at tier 8, and with the +1 -1 it'll be really, really nice. Penetration's lacking on its standard rounds of only 175, so coming up against tier 9s will probably be quite hard, but that's just something to keep on note. If you know the weak spots though, you'll be fine with the premium and also the standard, because you can pretty much go for any tank with 175 if you know the weak spots, but to reliably go through tanks quite easily, is 210 would be alright for you at tier 8. Now the next thing is the HMH T3485M. So this is the tier 6 Soviet medium tank, very similar to the T3485M that came out on the Battle Pass last season, or the Season Pass, whatever you want to call it, costing you 2,450 gold. You also get an emblem, probably to increase the gold cost. I don't know if that comes with it anyway. It probably does actually. But this is part of the HMH line, which I believe is like something to do with like the British like skin version or something like that. But yeah, it's just a T3485M with some extra skins. Basically, it's got a really nice gun for tier 8. Does 180 damage. Pretty broken. If you know how to use that kind of style where you're moving about and really using it as a medium, is pretty good. That's all for the actual stuff in-game. We've got some updates coming out as well with regards to the most recent updates coming into the game, and that is via Tank Mint's update rundown stream. So that's on 12th of January, today at 8 o'clock. And that will last for 2 hours, I believe, until 10 o'clock there. And then the next one is the Insider Information stream that comes out on the 18th of January, and at 8 o'clock for an hour, and that will just a sneak peek for the next week. So yeah, that's everything covered for this week in World of Tanks. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you found it somewhat informative, please like the video and subscribe for more. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.